In the views of the Ukrainian government, the Germans have been a lot of talk.
Putin must not win his war, and I am convinced he will not win.
And not enough action. This week, President Volodymyr Zelensky issued a rare public rebuke of German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, saying this to one German news outlet.
We need Chancellor Scholz to give us certainty that they will support Ukraine. He and his government must choose not to do a balancing act between Ukraine and the Russian Federation, but to choose which is their priority.
Because while it's true Scholz uses the right words, branding Putin a warmonger and terming the invasion a Zeitenwende, meaning a turning point in the history of German foreign policy, a term not used lightly, some critics feel it's different when it comes to German Chancellor Scholz's deeds. As one German political commentator recently wrote, quote, "The Chancellor, despite his strong talk at the beginning of the war, has chosen effectively to do nothing. His indecisiveness is more than a political failure. It amounts to a dangerous weakening of the resolve of those who oppose Russia's war, clearing the way for more brutality and violence." So, critics argue, as Russians stomp violently across Ukraine, Germany has been dragging its boots. Germany's economic might as the European Union's biggest economy makes it a critical player here. But instead of outright banning all oil and gas imports from Russia, Germany has opted to, quote, phase out those shipments, continuing a revenue stream which some critics say helps fund Russian war efforts. And while Germany reacted quickly, vowing to send desperately needed tanks and anti-aircraft systems to the Ukrainian front lines, Scholz's government later backpedaled, declaring that Germany needed to keep the weaponry, and that, anyway, Ukrainian soldiers were not sufficiently trained to handle such advanced technology. That's a criticism quickly rejected by Zelensky when I sat down with him in April.
I have heard many times from certain states that did not want to give us weapons quickly because our soldiers are not ready, from a technical standpoint, to use them. But instructors of such equipment, our instructors, will get our troops ready to fight in them.
When pressed earlier this month, Scholz even made the bizarre and false claim that, quote, nobody supplies on a similar scale as Germany does, unquote, which is not true in any way, not in total dollars, not in percentages. And in the run-up to Russia's invasion, Scholz initially rebuffed international pressure to commit to ending the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, a massive project that would funnel lucrative natural gas from Russia to Germany.
President Biden said that the pipeline would not happen if Russia invades. You won't say that. How would President Biden stop the pipeline? Just by imposing severe sanctions? And why won't you explicitly say, Russia, if you invade Ukraine, we're canceling the pipeline?
We are doing much more as one step. And all the steps we will take, we will do together. As the president said, we are preparing for that. And you can understand, and you can be absolutely sure that Germany will be, together with all its allies, and especially the United States.
Under scrutiny from the U.S. and other NATO allies, though, Scholz did eventually suspend that project, and he has taken other steps to support Ukraine's efforts, such as a pledge to deliver 2 major weapons to its army, an air defense system and a tracking radar, in addition to humanitarian and medical aid.
After the Russian attack on Ukraine, Germany revised its decades-long position and, for the first time, sent weapons and military goods to a war zone.
Domestically, Scholz is juggling pressure from multiple sides of his government, including those who want to do less, not more, for Ukraine. And while many applaud the moves Germany has made under Scholz's leadership, others wish they had come sooner.
We need to do everything in order to stop the senseless killing